Hey y'all, Tom here, ND3N, and thanks for dropping by my little shack in the corner for a ham shack chat. This time we're going to be talking about the GridTracker control panel. Now this is the final of 3 videos about GridTracker. The first looked at the map, the second went through the settings options, and the third and final, this one, will look at the control panel and the options available here. I've included links to each of these videos in the video description. Now, if you haven't watched the first video yet, there is some additional information there that I didn't include in this video. Now, you won't be totally lost as the information is kind of background to the entire series. So the decision to watch in sequence or pick one out of sequence, it's completely up to you. Please take a moment to give me a like by popping that thumbs up icon. And most information from this came from the GridTracker.org wiki, and I've put a link down in the video description to it. That said, a lot of this information came from additional research I've done and things I've found while playing with GridTracker. My descriptions here will be very brief, and full information is in the wiki. This is a 10,000 foot look at GridTracker. If you see something that piques your interest and you want to know more, that's what the wiki's there for. Otherwise, this would have been a 2-hour long video. The control panel consists of everything. It's down the right side of the band. Starting on the top, you have your operating conditions. So you can see I'm on 40 meters, FT8, and that my last contact on this band was KX0S. You can see that I'm currently decoding, and then down here are your band conditions. You can see that I am on 20 meters, that's what the circle around that means, and that 20 meters has a lot of activity. There's a little bit of activity over here on 40. This video is going to focus on the features menu, which is this collection of icons. We start in the upper left corner with the call roster. So click on this, and remember we discussed call roster during the settings, and it'll bring up your current call roster. Because I have no specific settings made, it is going to bring up all the call signs. However, if I had flagged certain settings, then it would have just let me know those things and announced them. More information in the wiki, right? The next thing we look at is the pin push mode, which turns the grid color legend off, so these are going to disappear and be replaced with individual pins. Now you'll note the pins are different colors, meaning they have different meanings, and you can find those meanings in the wiki. Next we go to our lookup menu. You see I have W1AW up here right now. Not that I've worked W1AW, but I didn't want to give out anybody's address, which is shown here, so that's why I brought this up here. Try this and put your own call sign in there, and you should see your own call information pop up here. Let me turn my pin push menu off. We'll go to Show Stats. Show Stats allows you to mix things, and you can search. So let's say I only want to see 40 meter contacts. Okay, that's great. And I only want to see 40 meter contacts in FT4. So you can see I've made 368 FT4 contacts on 40 meters. If I want to know the total number that I've made 638 contacts. And if I want to know mix there, then I've made a total of 1,667 FT8 and FT4 contacts. The online offline mode toggles the status of GridTracker as far as online and offline go. For instance, this shows that you're offline, giving you a different map to remind you of that. And it optimizes GridTracker for when internet connections aren't available or highly unreliable, such as in field day or parks on the air, POTA operations. The gray line, and I'm going to drag this out a little bit. This is, we'll toggle the gray line. So you can see where my gray line is. And that's very handy for figuring out. So right now, this station that's up here should have a pretty good contact down to Australia, following the gray line. And this gray line, by the way, is the short path distance. So since the map is laid out the way it is, if you were to put it on a globe, you would find, and put a rubber band around the globe, you would find that this line represents a straight line, obviously taken into the curvature of the Earth, to Australia. Enough about that. I have significantly digressed.
But I digress. Titans, go!
Now I'm going to zoom back in. And back on the centered. There we go. And you can toggle your map legend on and off here. So there's the toggling the map legend. You can select to share or not share your status with other GridTracker users here. So right now I'm not sharing, but you can share. You can see a list of all the hotkeys that are available here. And so there's all the hotkeys that are available. And you can set your cycle or word overlays. So like if you're looking for worked all states, so this one is the CQ zones, and then ITU zones, worked all continents, worked all states, DXCC, and so on. And we're just going to continue on until I get out of it. Now, if you have bad weather in your area, you can click this this icon, and it'll give you a lightning alert, audio alert of lightning anywhere near your area. Now, I need to zoom out so that we can find our moon. There's our moon down here, and you can toggle the moon on or off by clicking on the picture of the moon. Now for this one I'm going to zoom way in. I'm going to bring it right into mine. So there's mine. You can see this is my home, and I'm going to toggle between Maidenhead Grid 4 and Maidenhead Grid 6. So you can see that it's put a new one in here. So that is my EM6GN as opposed to my my EM89. 6 versus 4. Now we'll zoom back out and show you one that you've already seen in action. The settings menu brings up the settings menu. That's this one right here. AIDA allows you to load an AIDA file using this button, and anything that you say you've got a lot of PSK31s uploaded in your log, and you'd like to have them show up here, you can do that. You simply click on this AIDA and find that AIDA file here, and click on it, and then it will become part of your populating information here. The next button, that looks like a sun, will bring up the solar conditions. So you can see what the solar conditions are. You can get a report on how many sunspot numbers, currently 0. The A and the K levels, all of this is here. So it's a quick and handy thing, and if you want to see a little clearer picture of the sun, you can just float over it and it'll bring it up. If you're enjoying GridTracker and appreciate the hard work that's gone into it, you can make a donation by clicking on this one, and it'll bring up a website that will allow you to make a donation. We'll close that out. Then, if you've chosen to receive all audible alerts, now you can mute those alerts here. Selecting this button will give you a list or a map of PSK reported data for those who have reported that you heard your call to PSK reporter. This is a selection that you can make in the settings on your WSJT-X, and that would be it. But to be honest, I haven't made any calls recently because I've been working on this video. PSK Reporter 24 hours will show you what I've done in the last 24 hours and plot it up there. And once you click it, it's there until it decides to go away. So you can see I've added a few, and these are stations that have heard me in the last 24 hours, and their stuff went back to PSK Reporter. This is the time zone map, and I will zoom it out a bit so you can see the time zones, and that's a handy thing to have. Zoom it back in, and I'm going to show you the next rad weather, which you can select. This only works in the United States, but you can see the weather report. So if you're concerned that something might be interrupting, you're out on field day and you're concerned that there might be a storm coming, you can pop this up and kind of watch it as it gets there. I'll shut that off and come here to show you that this button will give you your Maidenhead locator, and we'll leave that. And this button is going to show you all the GridTracker users who are currently on the air. So you can see there's a lot of us. And there we go. Finally, you have an opportunity to have a messaging window. So say I wanted to talk to a friend back here in Maryland. I got a lot of friends back there. And well, here, we'll just call this guy up. You can send him a message, and it'll pop up on his screen, and then you can reply. Could be useful. Say you wanted to look for an Alaska station. So if I saw an Alaska station pop up there, I could send him a message and say, hey, I'm calling you. Can you listen for me? Or, like I said before, I've got friends in California. I lived there for many years. I've got friends in Maryland. I lived there for many years. So if I see one of them pop up, I can just have a short chat with them. If you turned on your local log in the settings section, logging menu, then you'll see a button right down in here that'll allow you to download to that log. The same can be said for downloading a logbook of the world log, QRZ log, and club log. So those would go right there. I just don't happen to have any of those set. And that's a quick tour of GridTracker control panel options. And this was the final video in the series. Thanks for watching. And thanks for dropping by my little shack in the corner for a ham shack chat about GridTracker control. I hope that you'll take this opportunity to download and fire up GridTracker and put it to use. If you find something that I haven't covered here, while using GridTracker, please leave a comment, and you're going to pick up your own tips and tricks. I would certainly love to hear them. If you found this video useful or just enjoyed watching, thanks for that. Please give me a like by popping that thumbs up icon, and please share this video with friends who may appreciate and enjoy the content, especially on social media. Finally, please consider subscribing to my channel for more ham radio shack chats. As always, I'm Tom, ND3N. I'm at your service. 7-3 until the next visit, and I'm out.